For someone to call a track Urban Cavemen, it is not only ironic, it is also oxymoronic. Ironic and oxymoronic because urban refers to the city, metropolitan areas, the suburbs, while cavemen refers to an uncivilized man who you would not find in a city. So why did I call that track Urban Cavemen, and what's the inspiration behind it? If one should meticulously scrutinize humanity, he or she would realize that man has found himself at a very peculiar place where he rises only to fall, and everything he creates leads to his own detriment and destruction. We now have cars that drive themselves, yet we can't solve world hunger or homelessness. We make intergalactic voyages, yet we can't live as one with nature. We are so technologically advanced, so why is life so hard? This is the basis of the song Urban Cavemen. Let's get into a bit of the lyrics. So Anthem Greatness starts out with the intro saying, you could reside in the greatest city and still be living in a cave. You could have a master degree and still be a ape. Intelligence is not measured in paper, but in behavior. So that's the intro. And of course, you could be living in the greatest city and still be living in a cave, because a lot of persons are, living in a very developed area, but their mindset is very backward. You could have a master's degree and still be a ape. You could be very educated but animalistic in nature, because you're not living in the higher realms of the spirit. You are beast-like. It's all about sex and the physical aspect of life for you. And of course, intelligence is not measured in paper, but in behavior. A lot of educated people, so-called, quote-unquote, formally educated people, if you meet them, you'd see that they leave a lot to be desired. Now the chorus goes, we hurt who we love, hurt who we trust. This is no intellect. In the midst of a flood, we live in drought, and it won't stop raining. Oh, Jaja, save we. We know not patience, we don't know what's sacred, yet we're thinking that we're so amazing. Urban cavemen, doing the deepest research, can't live in love, can't get over hatred. Urban cavemen. Nas asks the question, what kind of curse is upon the human race? And I have to think in terms of that philosophy, because why is it that we hurt who we love and hurt who we trust? By nature. And then the artist says, in the midst of a flood, we live in drought. So in the midst of this abundance, we are having drought. And then it won't stop raining. So in the midst of a flood, we live in drought and it won't stop raining. So that's like a juxtaposition, if you see what the artist is writing right there. We know not patience. We don't know what's sacred. Yet we're thinking that was so amazing. So we have this big ego, yet we don't know that Mother Nature is the most sacred. We don't know that our relationships with each other is most sacred, We're doing the deepest research, yet we can't live in love. Can't get over hatred. Urban cavemen. Alright? The artist then proceed to say, now we want to go to Mars. What an arrogant talk. Like all of Earth flaws is not our damn fault. I guess after all we are not at all smart, because we're climbing a ladder leaning on the wrong wall. No one care for the kids who have it rough from them born. Right? So, we want to go to Mars. Elon Musk on his quest to go to Mars, to colonize Mars, when everything we need is right here on Earth if we could just get it right. No one, we're climbing a ladder leaning on the wrong wall, so we're moving swiftly in the wrong direction. No one care for the kids who have it rough from them born. Poor nations suffer while you provocate war. Right now we see what's happening with Iran and Israel. Palestine, all of that, it's crazy. The poor of that country executing the poor of another country, so the rich of both countries could maintain power. It's crazy. Motivations driven by some lousy papers. We could be greater. I guess it's just human nature. That's the first verse. Yeah, so I guess it's human nature. The second verse, the artist proceeds to say, get the Pepsi, get KFC, then you check me, let with Netflix and chill. Evidently, we pay to get killed, because all them things gonna kill you. The Pepsi gonna kill you, the KFC gonna kill you, and of course, Netflix programs the mind in such a way where it's destructive. Evidently, we pay to get killed. Then when the grave is near, we pay for them pills. Mental slavery in the matrix. Not everyone will get the red pill. Self-explanatory for those who are familiar with the reference. We are all shades of brown. Black and white is just what they created. Clearly stimulating hatred. I don't care for all the great debating, but being divided and living in a cave is the very same thing. Of course, none of us are black or white. This is black. And I could say that my teeth is white. And none of us are those shades. We are all shades of brown. But they created the concept of black and white for the divisive nature of that philosophy. Stimulating hatred. I don't care for all the great debating, but being divided and living in a cave is the very same thing. Because if we were truly advanced, we'd realize that if all of us aren't okay, none of us are okay, right? What's good for one should be good for all, and if it's good for one and not all, it's good for none. It's all for one, one for all. That should be the philosophy that human beings operate within. You get me? Yeah, we walk into the fire with the hottest flames, then promptly blame others for the scorching pain. So we make decisions with dire, painful consequences. Then we blame others. We blame everyone for our suffering except take responsibility. And when I say this, I'm not talking individually. I'm talking as a species, humanity. If humanity should be accountable, we are the ones. We are our own culprits. We are the problem, and we are also the solution. The same mistakes our ancestors made, we perpetuate. You can't tell me that we're not insane. I mean, we see, if you look at even hip hop culture, it's the same thing. Tupac, Biggie, Nipsey Hussle, so many of them were assassinated by each other based on the lifestyle. The same mistakes our ancestors made, we perpetuate. You can't tell me that we're not insane. You can't tell me that we're not in chains. You can't tell me that we're not in caves. We do, but we act in vain. So it's like we rise only to fall. We talk, but we're not sincere. Most people don't realize that honesty without kindness is brutality. If you're gonna be honest with me, but not in a kind way, you're just hurting me in the name of saying you're honest. But kindness without honesty is manipulation. If you're being kind without being honest, you're just manipulating me to get me to like you. So humanity, we talk, but we're not sincere. Science advance, but togetherness drop each year. And it's clear. We hurt who we love, hurt who we trust. This is no intellect. In the midst of a flood, we live in drought, and it won't stop raining. Oh, Jaja save we. We know not patience. We don't know what's sacred. Yet we're thinking that we're so amazing. We some urban cavemen doing the deepest research, can't live in love, can't get over hatred. Urban cavemen. You get me? The outro, the artist says, we are all urban cavemen to some extent or another. Until we learn to live as one with one another, we are not as intelligent as we think we are. So that's Urban Cavemen. That's on Anthem's album, Prophetic Poetry. It's a beautiful song, and in all honesty, I heard Sizzla Kalonji and Shawnee B interview the other day said that one of his favorite songs that he did is Holding Firm, and I can see why. Urban Cavemen is possibly my favorite song that I've ever done. I think what makes an artist loves a song, if they're on the same wavelength as maybe I or Sizzla, is the timelessness of the message. When Sizzla says, I've been here all the days of my life, some will share others do as they like. That's a timeless message, and quite like Urban Cavemen. So go check that out, go stream that, and get into the vibration. Remember, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And there is no real excellence in all this world that can be separated from right living. So do the right thing, my brothers and sisters. Share the love, and be at peace with yourself and with others. This is Anthem Greatness. Have yourself a pleasant week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Love alone.